Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Marcus Rashford is expected to return in 3 weeks. Marcus Rashford recently looked sharp in training after shoulder operation. Will look much better when Marcus Rashford comes back. When Rashford returns, we need to put him on the left hand side because that's where he seems to be more effective. Rashford has endured his bad periods at Man United. He was out of form towards the end of last season. And he has become injury prone. Rashford has been a United player since the age of 7. He's been in our senior squad since 2016. He scored like 42 goals in the past 2 seasons. Now, is Paul Pogba leaving Manchester United on a free next summer? Paul Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, suggested that Pogba could return to Juventus from Man United on a free next summer. Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. Negotiations are in place over a new contract. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract. Well, reports said earlier on this season that Pogba is very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer. Earlier on this week, Paul Pogba's brother, Matthias Pogba, said that Paul Pogba is yet to decide on his future, and he said that Paul Pogba's contract situation is up in the air. Defensa Central said a few weeks ago that Pogba favours a switch to Real Madrid over the PSG deal. Real Madrid have been relentlessly linked with him. A couple of years ago, Pogba spoke about Real Madrid and his relationship with Zinedine Zidane, and Pogba came out and said that he's seeking for a new challenge. Earlier on this season, it said PSG are pushing to sign Paul Pogba next summer. He said earlier on this season that Pogba's set to join PSG on a free. Back in August, it said PSG are willing to offer Pogba £510,000 a week in wages to prize him away from Man United. Couldn't get him in this year's summer transfer window because they got Lionel Messi. I hope Pogba signs a new contract. Pogba's enjoyed a very good start to the Premier League season. He's already got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while and he sustained some ankle injuries at Man United. Mino Raiola has done a lot of talking. Don't forget he made an announcement back in December last year regarding Pogba. He said Pogba's career at Man United was over, said he was unhappy and he had to leave and he had no intentions of extending his contract. Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement. This season is Paul Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid 89 million for him. We had him when he was a lot younger under the Sir Alex Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. So there you go. Yesterday I gave you the news on Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is close to signing a new 5-year contract worth £250,000 a week with the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, Fabrizio Romano said not so long ago that talks have been ongoing since July between Manchester United and the agent of Bruno Fernandes over a new contract. At the moment, Fernandes is under contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Bruno Fernandes has already made it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. Now, Man United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year. We made 4 signings. We brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Aston Villa, brought Jadon Sancho in from Borussia Dortmund, brought Rafael Varane in from Real Madrid, and we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. So in this year's summer transfer window, we spent around 141 million. And Solskjaer did receive the backing he deserved. You know, John Murtough backed him. John Murtough is our director of football, and we certainly made the right decision getting a director of football in. Because I did mention that's one of the structural changes we needed at the club. Darren Fletcher also backed him, and we made the right decision recommending Darren Fletcher back in. You know, don't forget Darren Fletcher did endure 2 decades as a player for Man United. And surprisingly, our owners, the Glazers, backed Solskjaer, but only because they'd been persuaded to. Because towards the end of last season, a lot of United fans protested against the Glazers at Old Trafford. The reason is because the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. Solskjaer did reveal that the Glazers apologised. Towards the end of last season, it said the Glazers could have been forced to sell Man United, but for only £4 billion. The reason the Glazers have been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time is because they have put Man United in so much debt. You know, the Glazers have been at Man United for 16 years. They purchased the club for 500 million back in 2005. We didn't sign a midfielder in the summer transfer window. That was disappointing from a Man United perspective. I'm hoping we can sign a midfielder in January or next summer. And we only managed to sell one player in the summer transfer window, and that was Daniel James. We sold him to Leeds for 25 million. The reason we sold him is because we re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo. I am expecting Manchester United to sell players next year. The players we need to sell next year, we need to sell Martial because he isn't good enough to represent the club. Don't forget Martial rejected the chance to join Lyon on loan on deadline day. Before the start of this season, though, it said Solskjaer refuses to sell Martial as he remains part of his plans. Martial has been at Man United for 6 years. He's got 3 years left on his contract and he receives 200 grand a week. Martial scored 78 goals for Man United in all competitions. And we got him in a deal worth 58 million from Monaco back in 2015. Last season Martial was out with a knee injury for a while. He's had 2 good seasons at Man United. He was good the season before last and he was good in his debut season under Van Gaal. Next year, I think we also need to offload Jesse Lingard. Don't forget, Solskjaer said in his press conference building up to the game against West Ham that Lingard will be a Man United player next season. Solskjaer said he's read through and through. We're looking to extend Jesse Lingard's contract. Lingard's current contract expires next year. The other week, Jesse Lingard rejected a new Man United contract offer over playing time concerns despite him being in the last year of his deal. And earlier on in the summer, Lingard snubbed a return to West Ham. Last season, Lingard enjoyed a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. I think next year we've got to offload Donny van de Beek because Donny van de Beek is not getting enough game time at Man United. Now obviously Paul Ince came out yesterday and said that Donny van de Beek has got absolutely no chance of staying at Man United after he got taken off at half time in the 2-1 defeat to Young Boys. Van de Beek shouldn't have been taken off because he was our best player in the first half of that game. Prior to the Young Boys game, Solskjaer said that Donny van de Beek has been working hard to get into the team. Solskjaer did say he's prepared to play Donny van de Beek in a 2-man midfield. And Solskjaer hints at a new role for Van de Beek this term. Now, the other week, Donny van de Beek told Ole Gunnar Solskjaer his best position. Van de Beek reckons he will be best served operating as a number 6 or as a number 8. And the other week, Van de Beek spoke about his Man United future in an exclusive interview with Rio Ferdinand. Van de Beek's agent did a lot of talking the other week. Don't forget Solskjaer rejected Donny van de Beek's exit because Everton were close to signing him on loan. This season is Donny van de Beek's second full season at Man United. We got him for £40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. I also think next year we've got to offload Matic. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his chances and surprisingly he's ahead of Van de Beek. Matic has had his good games at Man United, but he's had a lot of bad games. My concerns about him is that he's always been a static midfielder and he's ageing up. Matic has been with us now for a good 4 years or so. We got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. And Fred, I think we need to get rid of him next year because he isn't good enough to represent the club. Got me reservations about him. We overpaid for Fred. We got him in a deal worth £50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. Next year, I'd also like us to offload Diego Dalot. Diego Dalot is our second choice right back. And I'd also like us to offload Phil Jones next year. He'll probably leave at the end of the season because when the summer transfer window was open, it said Phil Jones is set to stay at Man United this season. After Solskjaer told him he remains part of his plans. Jones made his comeback from injury in that behind closed doors game against Burnley earlier on this season. Jones is the only outfield player that's still with us from the Ferguson era. Jones has been long-serving player. He's enjoyed 10 years at Man United, and this season is his 11th season. Sorry guys, just got a bit of a cold. And next year I'm expecting Juan Mata to leave. He'll probably leave at the end of the season when his contract expires. Obviously earlier on this year, Juan Mata signed a 1-year contract extension. Juan Mata doesn't get in our 11 and he's lost that yard of pace, plus he's aging up. But despite that, I think Juan Mata's had a good career at Man United. At the first part of last season, he rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. We got Mata in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. And Edison Cavani, I'm expecting him to leave at the end of the season. I can't say I want him to leave though, because Cavani has made an impact since he's come in. Back in May, Cavani signed a 1-year contract extension and he receives 250 grand a week. Cavani's actually been absent recently. But you know what? We've got a very good squad. It's a title winning squad, so the time for excuses is over. A few weeks ago, Solskjaer told his Man United squad that it's better than the 1999 treble winning team that Solskjaer was part of. We've got Cristiano Ronaldo, the best player in the world. Since Ronaldo re-signed, he's already got 3 goals. Ronaldo got 2 goals against Newcastle last weekend on his second debut, and he scored in the 2-1 defeat against Young Boys. Can't understand why Solskjaer taking Ronaldo off though against Young Boys. And I'm expecting Ronaldo to start tomorrow against West Ham. Before the Young Boys game though, Solskjaer did say it's not impossible to leave Ronaldo out of the team. Solskjaer insists he doesn't have to play Ronaldo for every game. Prior to the Young Boys game, Ronaldo says that Man United can win the Champions League. Ronaldo has hinted that he's looking to stay at Man United beyond his current contract. Ronaldo signed a 2-year contract with Man United with an option of a 3rd year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so reflecting on that, is the highest earner. We got Ronaldo in a deal worth 19.8 million with add-ons included. And Ronaldo is obviously wearing the number 7 shirt. Ronaldo was our final signing of the summer transfer window. Ronaldo did a speech to his Man United teammates on his return, and he told his Man United teammates he wants the Premier League this season. We've got Jadon Sancho. That's good. And I think Sancho will do well at Man United, providing that Solskjaer uses him correctly. We got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. Sancho's under contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Sancho can play on the left, he can play on the right. He predominantly plays on the right, does Jadon Sancho. But at Man United, I'm convinced Jadon Sancho is going to replicate what he did in his 4 years at Borussia Dortmund. We've got Raphael Varane, that's very, very good. I think he's enjoyed a good start to his Man United career. Varane did well on his home debut against Newcastle last weekend. He was unlucky not to score from that diving header. I thought he was also very effective in the air, looked well composed, and did well on his debut in the 1-0 win against Wolves. Varane to Man United was official just before kick-off against Leeds on the opening day. We got him for a reasonable fee. We got Varane in a deal worth 41 million with add-ons included. We paid 34 million up front. Varane signed a 4-year contract with Man United with an option of a further year, and he got given the number 19 shirt. Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced. He's got a good pedigree as a player because, when he was at Real Madrid, he won a lot of trophies. He remained loyal to Real Madrid for so long. He did endure 10 years with them. Tom Heaton, he's a pretty decent goalkeeper. Obviously, we brought Tom Heaton in as a backup. To Tom Heaton's credit, he did really, really well throughout pre-season. He really did. We brought Tom Heaton in on the free, like I said. He signed a 2-year contract with Man United with an option of a further year. Dean Henderson, he's also a good goalkeeper. Obviously, has been unavailable so far. Obviously, he had to recover from COVID and that. I think he's close to returning now, Henderson. Henderson did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. His distribution was good and he kept a lot of clean sheets. Henderson has got that experience behind him because he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield. He's also had other loan spells before, and before the start of last season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United. So, reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. David De Gea, very, very good goalkeeper. I think he's enjoyed a good start to this season. He's been in goal for all our games so far this season. This season is De Gea's 11th season at Man United. He has enjoyed 10 years at the club. So he's been a long servant. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. De Gea has like 2 years left on his contract and he's on £375,000 a week. A few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world, because he's won everything domestically at the football club and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. We know obviously De Gea is staying at Man United for this season, because earlier on in the summer he said De Gea decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for the starting place. You got Luke Shaw, very good left back. I think he's enjoyed a pretty good start to this season. Luke Shaw, I like the way he provides the width. He shows good attacking intent. He gets in good positions. His crossing's good and defensively he's good. And last season, Luke Shaw, I'd say, was our best player. In fact, last season, he was the best left back in the Premier League. Luke Shaw's been our first choice left back for a while, and he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. He's had a good career at Man United despite the injuries he's sustained before. Luke Shaw has been with us now for like 7 years or so. You've got Wan-Bissaka, good right back. There's aspects of his game that I've got to improve. I think Wan-Bissaka has got to show more attacking intent. His crossing's got to improve, and his positioning's got to improve. But defensively, more or less, he's always been superb. Wan-Bissaka did get sent off against Young Boys for stamping on Martins, and that changed the complexion of the game. But like I pinpointed out, Solskjaer shouldn't have started Wan-Bissaka in that game, because I said he needed a rest. This season is Wan-Bissaka's 3rd full season at Man United. Got him for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. Eric Bailly, he's a decent centre half. My element of concern about Eric Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect he's a liability. Towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with the club until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Well, earlier on in the summer, it said Bailly's future was in doubt following the arrival of Varane, but I said I'd keep Bailly as a backup. So if Varane or Maguire get injured, then Bailly is the plan B. We've got a few other centre-halves, but obviously I prefer Bailly ahead of Lindelof and obviously Phil Jones. Phil Jones doesn't even get in our 11 anyway. Harry Maguire, he's also a decent centre half. He's had his good games at Man United, he's had his bad games. Like I've said, we should get the best out of him now with Varane alongside him. Towards the end of last season, Maguire was a big miss for Man United. He really, really was. He had ligament damage in his ankle. Maguire is the most expensive centre half in the world at the moment, and he's the second most expensive sign at the club because we got him for 80 million. McTominay, I think he's also a decent midfielder. He needs more time at the club. He's still young, got a lot of development in him. He's been part of the club for a long time as it stands. McTominay has just come back from a groin injury. He had an operation on his groin. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with Man United. So reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Pogba's also good as well. Bruno Fernandes, very, very good. Rashford's good when he wants to be. Mason Greenwood, he's also good. He's enjoyed a good start to this season. Greenwood already has, 3 goals? He's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad, but there was one time where Greenwood went a while without scoring. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time, and last season Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract with Man United. Edison Cavani, like I said earlier, he's made an impact since he's come in. So yeah, we have got a decent squad. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.